Welcome to Brave Healer Productions. We are waking the world up to what's possible for healing, one brave word at a time. Hey everybody, welcome to Monday Morning Breakthroughs. I am Laura DeFranco, the CEO of Brave Healer Productions, and we've got a really super awesome guest expert speaker today. Welcome, Debbie Compton. How are you doing today?
I am doing great. Thank you, Laura. I appreciate you having me on.
Debbie's the lead author of the Caregivers Advocate, you guys. This was an expert collaboration that we published. Gosh, when was that, Debbie?
July 2nd, it went
Okay,
live.
July. I'm glad you remembered the date. There it is, show and tell. Beautiful.
Yeah.
This was such an incredibly powerful book that's still getting attention and mentions and questions because I feel like you were the first person to bring this expert cast around you to talk about the topic in all the different, very unique ways we needed to hear about it, but also your resources section in the Caregivers Advocate is going to change lives. So, my first thing today is just gratitude. Thank you for doing what you do in the world and for being so passionate about that.
Thank you. It is. We've had such tremendous response. I absolutely loved it. And I mean, my goal was just to hit number one in at least one category. And as you know, then we hit number one in all 6 US categories, number one in Canada, number one in Australia. And I'm just like, top 50 in the UK. So we've even had doctors tell us that they learned things from reading the book. So I'm just so excited and so thrilled, excuse me, because we did I gathered experts from 4 countries because dementia knows no borders. And it's a worldwide epidemic. And so I gathered experts from all these different countries to share and to come together. And it's just been a fantastic tool, very well received.
Deeply, deeply needed topic. So, you guys, Debbie's here today to do a talk for us called 15 Ways to Improve Brain Function and Lower Your Risk of Dementia. Let me just tell you a little bit more about Debbie. Debbie Compton is a 3-time caregiver for parents with different forms of dementia. She's a certified caregiving consultant and advocate, educator for the Alzheimer's Association, speaker, and author of 10 books. Debbie founded the Purple Vine, whose mission is to empower caregivers to reduce stress, block burnout, and laugh again. So, Debbie, I'm going to turn it over to you now to present this really cool talk for us. I can't wait. All you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, I might say, first off, sorry, my allergies are bad today. I might say, first off, the reason this is such an important topic is because all of us more than likely know someone who has had dementia or has a form of dementia now. And dementia covers a host of almost 220 different diseases, including Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, vascular dementia, frontal temporal dementia, Lewy body, tons of others. And so the biggest risk factor for Alzheimer's is old age, and we're living longer. So as we're living longer, our risks become higher of getting it. We become more aware. We have one of those senior moments and go, "Oh my gosh, I have dementia." And a lot of us do that and are concerned about it, particularly if you're like in my case, and I've cared for a different family member 3 times with different forms of dementia. I am always, going, "Oh my gosh, I forgot that," And so I started researching ways that you can naturally, because you and I are both about the all natural way. What can we do without pharma to help our brain function? And I might say on that too, that's why I clicked so well with Brave Healer Productions. And when you and I spoke the first time, was because our vision aligns. It's not pop a pill and let's fix this. It's, God made us whole. Our bodies will heal themselves if we give them the right tools. So that's what I'm here to talk to you about is are ways that you can help your body and your brain without using medications or doing something like that because they're all natural. So um first off, the first thing you can do is something that a lot of people do is learn something new. Just doing what they're doing today, listening on the podcast engages the brain. Audiobooks stimulate your brain and help you to get to thinking about new things or new ways of doing things. There's a podcast about everything under the sun these days. So all you have to do is look up something and listen in because when it's new information, your brain tunes in and it starts to spark and it starts to pay attention. This helps your brain. Okay, something else that you can do is play games that make you think. Crossword puzzles, you can do them in print, you can do them online, you can do Sudoku, either way. Brain games, categories, board games, anything that's something new to your brain helps your brain to grow. And then this is a huge one. Get up and move. Exercise, 20 to 30 minutes of exercise every day is what your body and your brain need to stay healthy. Now, here's the good news. You don't have to set aside 30 minutes and do 30 minutes of high impact aerobics or whatever. I was doing step aerobics for 1 hour. It was killing me. It was hard, but it was really good for you, and I'd be exhausted and just sweaty and the whole bit. But you can do it even in 5-minute increments. That's all you need. You need to get your heart rate up. As long as your heart rate is elevated, you're getting more oxygen flowing through the brain, and then you're going to start seeing the benefits for your brain. Your brain only needs 5 minutes increments at a time. Your body, I'm not qualified to talk about that. Okay. Then write it down. Blogging or journaling allows you to express yourself creatively while sharing your impressions with the world. It also helps you process your day. And I know that as being a caregiver, there's a lot of stressful times and a lot of stressful events, but you don't even have to be a caregiver. If you live in today's world, there's stress around you. And so what I did, I created this book, which is Right to Remember. Look how thick that is. It is a fat little puppy, and it's got pictures in it. It's got journal prompts. It's got all these different things. But this allowed me to write down, and what I wanted to record were the happy moments that happened throughout the day because I knew I wouldn't remember them. And so I write them down and record them. Some people call that a blessings book. Whatever you want to call it, you write down and record the good thoughts, the good things, the funny things that happen, funny things someone said, whatever it is, doesn't matter. But then when you're having a rough day, you can go back and refer to that and read those funny things and be blessed again and improve your mood and be happy again. So that's a real important thing is to write it down. This is a cute little one. I'll show you this too real quick. The Lovable Llama. And this is a little journal that I created with all these little colorful pictures. It has a colorful llama on every page. I made that because of my little granddaughter, because she loved llamas and she was 16 and I was concerned about the chaos that she's surrounded with and wanted her to be able to have a way to write down and release her feelings, release your anxiety. And that's the other good thing about writing it down. You can release your emotions to the page and let go of that stress. So it doesn't, and you know what? You don't even have to buy a journal. You can use a notebook. You can just, doesn't matter. It's just the act of you writing down those emotions, getting them out. It also then allows you to look at things from a different perspective. Because sometimes when you look at something in the moment, you've got one set of feelings. And then when you look at it later, you may be like, well, I kind of overreacted on that. So gives perspective. The fifth thing that you can do for your brain is to go somewhere. You don't need a lot of time or money to get away. You don't have to go on a big fancy cruise or flying off across the ocean. You can just get in your car and drive to a nearby town. You can explore roads that you haven't been on before. Go to the store a different direction. Explore new things. Just those little bits engage your brain. If you're going somewhere that you typically go all the time, go a different route intentionally, just to see what else is there. Expand your mind, expand your awareness. And then number 6, you will love, Laura, read. Being a publisher, that's right up your alley. And
Yay for
Laura has,
reading and writing in
yeah,
journals.
yes. And Laura has published, I don't even want to say a number because it just keeps exploding. Tremendous amount of number ones. So they're fantastic. So read a book. Doesn't matter what kind. You're following along a plot, you're engaging your brain, you're exercising your brain. And then if you want to take it to the next level, join a book club and discuss what you read. That helps you to stay focused on it also, and to focus on remembering what you read instead of just letting it go in and out. Goodreads is online. That's where you can share your favorite books with friends and see recommendations. It's free to join. So Goodreads online. Next thing you can do is see some friends. Get together and socialize. Conversation stimulates cognitive function. And so when you're together with friends, you're thinking about what they're saying. Hopefully, you're listening. And then you're thinking of what you're going to say. So you're involving your brain, and it works with your critical thinking skills, and it allows you to be more creative. So, and again, even if someone who is bedbound, you can use FaceTime, Instant Messenger, House Party. I mean, there's a ton of ways. Zoom, there's a million ways that you can get together with people and see them face to face, because then you make a stronger connection and you can be more engaged with the person, and you don't have to go anywhere to do it. Okay, then number 8 is to eat healthier. This, we know this, we all hear this, but we all kind of let it go. What you eat affects your brain and your body. So your brain needs green leafy vegetables. And then the Mediterranean diet, it is a proven diet to be heart healthy and brain healthy. So if you want to improve your brain, eat stuff like the Mediterranean diet. You can go on Pinterest and search Mediterranean diet and find all sorts of stuff. So there's no excuses here. You don't have to go buy a book. You don't have to go do anything like that. Just, or do a Google search. You know, it's amazing what you'll find. So, but in that eating healthier, I'll throw in also drink more water. And I'm talking to myself here because I don't drink enough water either. I am, there you go. Good job. I am having my morning go juice. I can't help it. I try to, this is my one thing. It's like, I gotta have a Pepsi in the morning. I don't drink coffee. It's just, and I'll drink water the rest of the day, but drink more water, help your brain, feed your brain and your body. It lowers your blood pressure. This is the interesting thing about water. Did you know that it helps stabilize blood pressure? If you have high blood pressure, drink more water and it'll help it come down. If you have low blood pressure, drink more water, it'll help it come up. Water balances your body. So great stuff. Then we need to reduce your stress, which is a fun one for some people. They're like, oh, yeah, okay, how am I going to do that? But anxiety, stress, and depression have all been linked to cognitive decline. So you have to find ways to lower your stress, whether that's yoga, meditation, Bible study, whatever it is for you, you need to figure out ways that you can lower your stress. Visual imagery is great. I mean, there's a host of different ways to help yourself calm down, and it's a very important thing to do for your brain and your body. And then number 10 should be pretty common sense in today's world. Avoid cigarettes and alcohol. Both have been strongly linked to Alzheimer's disease, according to the Alzheimer's Association. So, and vaping, of course, hasn't been around long enough to have a lot of good news on it, but I mean, just think about it. You're sucking chemicals directly into your lungs. Probably not a good thing. So, so number 11 is change your routine. Sorry, excuse me. So this is an interesting one. if you're right-handed, you typically brush your teeth with your right hand every morning. And you don't even think about it. You just do it. Your hand knows what to do. It all happens autopilot. Switch and put that toothbrush in your left hand and brush your teeth. There's a new experience for you. If you're like me, your left hand doesn't know what to do, and it struggles and it's jerky and it doesn't do it right, and it's a mess. But I recently was pretty much forced. I was in the position where I had to learn to do this because I do everything right-handed, and then I hurt my right shoulder. And my grandson wanted to play pickleball, and I wanted to play with him, but I couldn't use my right shoulder, so I had to learn to play left-handed. And this sweet kid, he's wonderful. He's like, Grammy, I'll play left-handed too. We'll both figure this out together. So, I mean, we spent more time chasing the ball until we figured out how to do it. But it was great because then you develop that, and you're increasing your brain's ability to store new information. You're generating you're creating new neural pathways in your brain. It's fantastic. But you don't have to play pickleball left-handed, but brush your teeth left-handed. If you whatever you always do when you're sweeping the floor, if you always have one hand on top, switch, put the other hand on top. It engages the brain and makes your brain think, which is the whole goal here. Okay, then watch your numbers. High blood pressure, obesity, high cholesterol, and diabetes. We know that they affect your body, they also affect your brain. So you need to keep those under control. If you have high blood pressure and you're on medication, take your medication regularly. Keep track of those numbers. High blood pressure, I'll say this too. My mother had vascular dementia, and they believe that it was entirely caused by uncontrolled high blood pressure. Her blood pressure was high for a long time. She wasn't checking it. She didn't know it was. And then when they figured it out, they had a hard time getting it under control. She wasn't good with taking her medicines, and as a result, she wound up with vascular dementia. You can prevent so much of these horrible diseases from happening to you if you'd watch your numbers, if you do some of these things. Memorize something. It can be a poem, people's names, Bible verses, anything will work. The act of memorizing exercises your brain again. So memorize, and I'll say this, memorization gets harder as you get older. And the way that I explain it to people, it's that we have this great supercomputer, and we know that we do in our brain. When you're young, you're running at super high speeds and you can learn all sorts of stuff. And when you get older, it kind of slows down a little bit. And so it's not that it's gone, it's that it takes longer to recall the information. Have you ever forgotten somebody's name? And then, later you're like, oh yeah, I know what it is. Or you forget something and you remember it later. That's okay. That's called normal aging. That does not mean you have dementia. If you had dementia, you wouldn't remember that you couldn't remember it. So, so just give yourself a little bit of a break here. It's okay. And then take your vitamins. Specific vitamins and minerals are excellent for brain health. So if you add these supplements to your diet, you can give your brain a boost. So some of those are like B6 and B12. They are fantastic for your brain, and your brain needs these to be able to function properly. My mom had to have a B12 shot once a month, and you could tell right before it was time for her to have that B12 shot because her memory was so much worse and she didn't have the energy and she was tired. She'd get that B12 shot and it was just like a boost, and which is what it did. It literally boosted her memory, her energy levels, everything. So vitamins are essential these days because we don't have all the nutrients in the food. That's a whole nother thing there, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay, then we need to learn to take a break. In the end, don't forget to rest. A tired mind cannot process well. And so you need to get adequate sleep and then try again the next day to do better. When you're sleeping is when your brain dumps all the toxins, downloads all the memories, stores all the things. So if you're having trouble sleeping, or if you're having trouble remembering things and you're not sleeping well, don't write it off because those two are most likely connected. If you sleep better, you can remember better because you can clear the brain and start fresh the next day. So if you try these and just add some of these to your day, just try a couple at a time, even try one or two. And if you don't succeed at it, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Try again tomorrow. Pick a couple of different ones, pick a bunch of them. Just try to make some minor changes can have lasting impact on your brain. Does that help?
That's so super awesome. I'm looking at this list, and it's also just, this is really great healthy living too in
Yes.
general. There's so many things that would be improved by your list.
Mhm.
And I want to back up to number 9.
Okay.
And I want to review the link to stress, from stress and depression. I want to talk with you a little bit, and what's the most important thing you want people to know about their stress levels? Like, how can we check in with people before it gets away from them so that they can, get that
Mhm.
going? How do you de-stress?
Well, what personally for me, I'm a Christian. And so the Bible brings me peace. Listening to Christian music helps me to calm down too. If I'm anxious, if I'm feeling a little blue, sometimes we wake up feeling just a little bit down, and you put on some upbeat, for me, it's upbeat Christian music that makes me feel better, gets me going, gets me inspired. For different people, it's different things. Now, I will say this, when I'm painting the house, I put on 70s rock because you got to get going. You need energy, you need to move. So it's whatever it is for you. If you have a friend and you notice that they're stressed a lot, then you can reach out to that friend and have them go do a fun activity with you. Have them even go to the mall. It depends on what you are. It's anything will help because the socialization helps cure depression. And that was the thing that was so bad during COVID that caused such a huge issue because we are made to live in community. We're not made to live isolated. So when you get together with people, just that fact of getting together releases endorphins in the brain. The feel good chemical helps you to feel better, makes your brain start sparking because you want to engage with that person. So the biggest risk for depression is isolation. So don't isolate yourself. Don't allow yourself to be isolated. And many times, we just stay in our house doing our own thing or whatever. Reach out to someone, talk to someone, connect with people. And then, like I said, I like visualization is a fantastic stress reliever. I use that in the middle of caregiving. I couldn't go anywhere. And at this particular point in time, I had mom and my mother-in-law, both with two different forms of dementia, both had to have 24-hour care. And so I was here at the house. And then when that stress level gets high and you're like, mom's asked the same question for 40 times, and my mother-in-law is just fidgeting and doing this and that, and you got to keep taking things away from her because she doesn't remember what things are, and you're just about to scream. You can still go what I did, go in the restroom, lock the door, because you got to make sure you have just a couple of minutes, peace and quiet, and then start to visualize. My happy place is the beach. I go to the beach in my mind and I listen to the waves and I picture the sight that I see and I imagine hearing the birds. Just by doing that, you lower your blood pressure, you lower your stress, you lower your anxiety, you increase your ability to think more clearly, you increase your creativity just in a couple of minutes. And you can do that anywhere. You can do that at work. You can do it no matter what the situation, you can find just a couple of minutes to calm yourself, bring calm. It's amazing what a difference it makes.
Well, this was a pretty incredible list. I also just want to express gratitude for something about you that I've loved since I met you, and that is your sense of humor. And I
Oh,
also see this as a theme for caregivers who are thriving, is that they've got a sense of humor and they use it, right?
yes.
Yeah, what do you want to say about that?
Oh my goodness. You have to have a sense of humor. You have to find the funny. And I learned that really early on because, as you know, I'd been in business. So I was traveling nationwide and I had my little plan in place. And I'd been with this company for 15 years and I was going to retire there. And I loved the travel. And then I was on the East Coast and dad accidentally took mom's pills. And I live in Oklahoma. I could not rapidly get there. And then I was on the West Coast another time, and mom passed out at the Daily Living Center and had to be rushed to the hospital. I couldn't readily get there. And so, we had to make changes, but you still have to find the humor. And that's what I challenged myself to do was, okay, we're going to find the funny in every situation. And that's what I started doing because I had to survive is the way that I felt. And then too, you know, God just got me through because I remember a particular time I was cleaning the bathroom floor for the third time that day because my mother-in-law couldn't see the toilet, had problems, So I'm scrubbing the floor for the third time. I'm exhausted. I hadn't had a good night's sleep in months. And I just was on the edge and I was just crying and scrubbing the floor. And then I remembered some Bible verses that encourage me, which is greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. And my dad's favorite verse came back to my mind. I can do all things, insert even scrub this bathroom floor for the third time through Christ who gives me strength. And his mercies are new every morning, which means you start every day with a clean slate. Let go of the regrets from yesterday, the mistakes you made from yesterday, the anger, let go of every bit of it. At night, when you lay down to go to sleep, let go of all that stuff. This is a great stress reliever right here. And then you start your day fresh and anew. And then in the happy times too, like my mom and my mother-in-law, I was trying to get them. Well, first off, I thought I would save time by scheduling both of them an appointment at the same time. And so I scheduled them both an eye doctor appointment. I don't recommend this, by the way. Uh, but I didn't know, and I'm like, well, hey, let's try this. So we did. It was a nightmare because I got mom dressed, and so then I went to get my mother-in-law dressed, and I got her dressed. And when I came back to mom, mom had taken off her clothes and put her pajamas back on because I forgot and left the pajamas in the room. And it's like, okay, all right. So I take her out to the living room, get my mother-in-law, because she's in there starting to change her clothes again, get them both in there, sit them both on the couch while I'm changing them, and to get the stuff out. And so I finally make it to the appointment. I got there on time. I was so thrilled. It's like we made it on time. This is a win. Celebrate the small wins, yay. They got hearing aids, they got glasses, they got teeth, they're all dressed. This is a great day, and I looked down and my mom was wearing two different shoes. And immediately the oh my gosh, I blew it comes into your mind. But then you grab that thought and you go, no, no, this is a win. So what if she has two different pairs of shoes on or two different shoes that don't match on? And so I even thought, okay, if anybody does happen to notice, which they probably won't, but if they do notice, I'm just going to say she's got another pair just like them at home. And just, so you just laugh about it. It's okay. It's no matter what's going on. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. You're gonna get through this. And so you might as well get through it in a way that does less harm to your own body. And that's the thing, you don't want to the horrifying statistics are that people who are caregivers wind up declining dramatically in their health because of caregiving. And it happened to me too. I experienced caregiver burnout, which I didn't even know was a thing, didn't know what it was, had no idea. And anyway, so I'm in the throes of it, just total exhaustion, mentally, physically, emotionally, completely drained because you've given all of yourself to those others that need you. And while it's great to give and we're called to serve and to give, you need to keep a little bit back for you and keep a little of you. And so I learned the hard way that self-care is not selfish. And I began to find creative ways to get that time that I needed to be able to just quickly recharge for myself. And so that's what I do for caregivers now. Caregivers who will call me and say, I don't have any time. I'm a solo caregiver. And I'm like, yes, you do. I was too. A solo caregiver for 3. Let me tell you, wait, let me give you ideas, things that you can do, because there's tons of creative ways. We just have to get creative. But if you remember, as I said before, when you're completely stressed, the creativity shuts down. You can't think creatively anymore. You're in survival mode at that point. And so that's where I help caregivers. It's like, call me, email me, we'll set up a chat, a Zoom chat, and I will help you find ways to take care of yourself. Because without you, how are they going to survive?
So, you guys, if you haven't picked up your copy of this beautiful book yet, The Caregiver's Advocate, a complete guide to support and resources, please hop over to Amazon and get your copy. This is full of the kinds of tools Debbie gifted us with today, and more and more and more, with an incredible, powerful resources section, in addition to just being an incredible read, honestly, with these beautiful, unique, and vulnerable stories of all of your expert co-authors. I'll shout all of them out today as well. Debbie, thank you so much for what you do in the world and for being here today to share it with everyone.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to share with people. That is my mission. That's why I went through what I went through, is so that I can help others. Because, like you, I believe in giving back. And when problems come to us, they can either be a stumbling block or a stepping stone. So I choose a stepping stone.
I love that. I love it. I love it. All right, you guys. Remember, Brave Healer Productions is here to help you share your words with the world in a bigger way. I loved doing that for Debbie and her crew for the Caregivers Advocate. It is what I was born for. So come and, peek at our stuff, bravehealer.com. Lastly, today, I want everyone to remember your words. They change the world when you're brave enough to share them. So it's time to be brave. We'll see you next time, everyone.